Yeah. Black neon. Out the mud. Before I get it out the mud, I stay on top of my fitness and hit the shower, clean it up, and then get back to the business. I don't care about who did it, I ain't worried who didn't. I head directly to the back, so I'll be there in a minute. I got expensive taste, the rollie got a different face. For surely I be in them places, they won't let you pass the gate. Post it up, sipping $1,000 scotches with the rock in it.
Before you get rolling, what's the name of your grow place?
Lazy River.
Oh, Lazy River. Yep, that's the one. And where you guys out of?
Dracut,
Dracut,
Massachusetts.
Yeah, so we tested on the Orange Photonics. That was the first brand that it's definitely 5. I did the quick math, but the 6 one's like right on the cusp. I'm just waiting for the numbers, but I think that's like more solid than any other
It's crazy.
brands
That's
that we've tested.
Yeah.
Usually the other brands who've came on the show, we've bought in like 3 or 4 of their 8ths and 2 of them test out, or 3 out of the 4. You know what I mean? So you went all the way in and gave us 6.
Yeah.
So we tested them.
And I didn't know until just now. You guys told me, because it hasn't aired yet, and the whole team is sitting like they're all just like, when are they going to air this? They're all literally chomping.
No,
at the bit.
you're the first one out of all of them. That's amazing.
Great,
Where
dude.
is this fucking weed? I want to smoke some of it.
I got Cherry Waves over there.
All right, let's go here.
Juicy J.
What was it? Chem 51, Juicy J.
Did you have Juicy
Cherry-
J? You did have Juicy J?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cherry
That one
Waves.
smelled really good.
Caribbean
Cherry
Breeze.
Waves. It's like the Juicy
Caribbean
J too.
Breeze.
The Juicy J and
What was the other one?
Juicy J.
Cotton candy
Cherry
one.
Waves.
What one
The
tastes the
rosin that
most?
we're pressing out of that right now is fucking sick.
Really?
Yeah, dude, so good. Yeah. The Cherry Waves rosin.
I don't matter.
Yeah.
So what do you got going?
Yeah.
What do you got going on there, Rob?
Yeah.
Nothing. Smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
You mentioned the
I smelled
cap
that
wasn't
one
on
too.
all the way. That
Yeah, I'm
was
like
the
a
one that was little
6-year-old. Like,
dry.
I like
Yes.
fruit flavored weed. Yes. Right? Like, you give me like a grape skunk. Give me
That
like,
one
I
doesn't
always
make
like
big.
that background of it. It's like, I like the funk, and then I like that like nice smooth like fruit flavor after. So his Dante's Inferno is like tastes just basically just strawberries and cream. Like that's what it smells like. Tastes like all the way through. But it's really interesting. It's like the fruit forward stuff always comes in first. Like it's like a tropical papaya. It's always something like super fruit forward. So it's interesting, like
because it captivates everybody.
yeah, it's like in that profile especially too. I think like that's kind of what people are looking for. You know, in the flower, you're seeing like the boof is huge. Like boof wins like in so many contests and stuff.
Yeah, that super boof is different, man.
Yeah,
Super different.
It's crazy.
super- yeah,
Boof
right.
used to mean like bad weed. Now,
Right?
now you got.
That's what I grew up, and I was like, "This is super boof." I was like, "So it's super shitty."
Yeah, like I didn't get that strain name, but they went all in with it.
And
You
then I
know?
seen that guy. He was winning awards.
Yeah.
What was it? Turtle something.
Yeah.
And he's with the pressed rosin. He's winning awards all over.
Yeah, but dude, it's like it's crazy. So we started like when we were I always like we have our work and we have our play, right? So it's like we the stuff that we do at work. But it's crazy because it's like everyone like 1 year all of a sudden everyone is growing boof in their backyard. Like that's like the number one thing. It's like, oh, I got boof and I got like papaya boof and I got this, and I was like, what the fuck is everyone growing this thing for? But it's crazy. You see it. It consistently wins in a lot of like concentration.
The structure, and just everything about it is unique.
It's very, very different than anything else,
I got to get this rollout in because Lee will kill me because it makes editing a nightmare. So, episode 42 of the How You Doing show. Lazy River Products out of Dracut, Mass. We got one of the 3 partners, Kevin, in charge of the grow.
Yep.
And we got Seth down in the lab.
Yep, lab operations. Yep.
Lab operations.
Yep.
Why don't you lead off and tell how Lazy River became to be with 3 friends coming together?
Sure. We went to high school, Londonderry, New Hampshire, in the 90s. And we all, after high school, we all split off. I was just super into skateboarding and just needed to get out of Londonderry for one. What better place to go than San Francisco? So I bounced to San Francisco. They went off and did their own things.
Hello, Frisco?
Frisco.
Damn.
Yep.
That's a real beautiful city, actually.
It was.
Yeah, I'm sure you went to Fisherman's Wharf and the islands and all that.
Fisherman's Wharf, yep. Geary Lake Square.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I was just a little skate rat.
Pretty
just
hilly.
Trying to survive at that point.
Oh, you were skating it?
I was 18 when I moved out there, maybe 19. But yeah, that was the mecca for skateboarding, so that's why I went out there.
You still skateboarding?
I can't handle it no more. I'm too old. But I watch it every day. I have my favorite.
They're doing some ridiculous tricks on them things. And people don't realize about skateboarding is it's so ridiculously hard. Like a friend of mine when I was growing up, he used to be able to do a stand up, do a handstand going down a hill.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. I can't skateboard. I can ride dirt bikes, but I can't skateboard for shit.
And for what they do and put their body through in such a short window that you have to perform, like they're so underpaid. It's crazy. They just do it because they love it, and it's not. I don't
Super
know.
athletes.
Not a bad pre-roll, by the way. Usually the pre-roll doesn't last smoking this long before I put it in the ashtray and stop smoking
That's
it.
a good sign.
Because
you got points.
Like the majority of the time with pre-rolls is you get it and you open it up and it's got, I don't know, the last one we had a stem.
Yeah, a stem
some
in there.
sticks and fucking some
Mildew.
sift.
Yeah, one of them tasted like mildew.
Anyway, half the time it almost seems like they spray their pre-rolls with something. Some people, I don't know.
Or maybe it's not cured or dried properly.
But how did you guys? So you guys knew each other in high school. You guys went your separate ways after high school.
Yep.
Did you guys ever share any of the same chicks?
No.
You know, you in high school together. You know.
Well, I know what Rob's trying to do. He's thinking, I got a similar story to this guy. When Rob was like 18 or 19, he went out west, but he stopped at Vegas and never got past Vegas. So, so he was trying to line up to see if you guys had similar stories.
No, I'm just asking. You guys, three guys knew each other in high school. You guys ever have a Mandingo party or something like that? Wondering.
See, this is why I picked this podcast to be my first. This is it.
Yeah, you like this?
Yeah.
This is entertaining for you?
Absolutely.
So anyway,
comfortable.
after I guarantee they had a Mandingo party. But anyway,
So he went to San
It's okay.
Francisco. He went to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yep.
Skateboarding.
Yep.
Is that where you started getting into weed? Big cannabis scene.
Besides
out
just
in San-
planting a seed in like your dad's garden and watching it grow and then it dies, that's I don't even count that. So I guess 1996 was the first time that I planted a seed, grew a plant beginning to end in a coffee can and a street light in the closet of this flat in San Francisco. And then the landlord at the time, this was right before Proposition 215 happened.
Okay.
So that happened in, I think it was 97. So the landlord had AIDS, and I think his partner had AIDS too. But and then this happened.
Poor guys.
So that was pretty bad back then. There was a lot of that. Like it's been a while since then. We forget like what a crazy epidemic that was.
That was a huge epidemic. And
It
you know
was,
what?
and
The thing
people were
about they
dying.
didn't
Like, I
even know
knew
what
people that died.
they
pretty
didn't even
quick.
know what it was.
Out here too, that was popular.
There was no medicine
You
other
know,
than cannabis.
Because of my
that
cousin,
helped.
when that was going on, that era of that, I knew, because he's a gay guy, great guy, he died, but great guy.
Yep.
Some of his friends, and they didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, that's true.
And then now they're like, people are actually living from that. And
Yeah.
I guess it's worth to walk down the street of Chicago than get that now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Charlie Sheen's
Living proof.
Rocking and rolling.
rocking and rolling, man.
So anyway,
hanging with porn
so
stars.
did you take off too? Where'd you just go off to after high school?
So I went up to Vermont.
Vermont, cool.
So I went up to Vermont and studied as a cook at the time. So I was kind of cooking, going to school up there, and that's where I started like kind of jumping in and being involved in seeing a bunch of just the underground grows that were going up there and seeing a lot of people that were pushing for quality. Where a lot of times where I was seeing stuff like in mass and in high school and stuff, people were just like growing and they didn't know what it was. But that's really the first time I saw a lot of people that were really cared about like genetics, like where things were coming from, really caring about the plant, like taking a lot of pride in what they were doing rather than just like trying to mass grow to make money. So
What circa is this?
this is, I got to like 1998.
98.
Yeah, 98, 99. So going up there and just seeing like a lot of the communities and like for a place where, obviously, it was definitely supposed to be underground, but there was like a lot of support. It wasn't something that was like really looked down on, and people took like a lot of pride in what they did and like weren't afraid to talk about it.
A lot of people have been growing cannabis and smoking cannabis in Vermont for a while, and it's crazy to me to see like they're one of the last states to come online.
It's one of the craziest things because I remember when I was up
That is
there,
wild.
Whenever I was coming back home from Vermont, 30 people that I hadn't talked to in years would be calling me up to see what I could bring down from them. So it was kind of like known as a place in the Northeast that had a lot of growers that were caring about what they're doing, a lot of stuff that just old school strains you don't see much anymore.
So the light went on, and you started bringing back weed down here.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden,
Had to. You can't help it.
Yeah, and I was like,
Here's your cash. Here's my
it
weed.
was never more popular,
You gotta get money.
And but no, I think it's one of the great things about it is it's the first place that I saw people really taking a lot of pride in what they did.
Did you ever get pulled over when you had weed in the car and they let you go?
Oh yeah, all the time. But yeah, it was funny though because I live in New Hampshire now. I just moved there, and it's the least free state I've ever lived in. But the funny thing about it is that in Massachusetts, you could like smoke weed all the way in your car. As soon as you hit New Hampshire border, it was just known like.
You live in New Hampshire now?
Yeah.
Do you go to the back room at all?
Where's that?
It's in Manchester.
Yeah, the Puritan.
The place is awesome.
Yeah, the back room.
Yeah, every year around
Adam
Christmas, you'll
Sandler
see
goes
Adam
there all
over
the
there.
time.
We used to see Adam there.
Yeah, that's his joint. Right
Yeah, his
there.
parents used to live right up the street.
Yep.
Me and my friend would drive by the house
Yep,
to see if
North
we'd see him.
Ross
No,
is
and he was
stalker.
actually a really cool guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I guarantee he smokes weed.
I
He's
wonder.
got to.
He's that funny. He's got to have a little
He's
bit
got
of
to
that in him.
because he's hysterically funny.
He is.
You know, in all his movies, he uses all the same people, like with Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider is actually pretty funny too.
Yeah.
It is
You know.
all the same people.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all the same people. Like his wife, who, like, you know, like the Grown Ups. That was a great movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, all of them. And Sarah Silverman's from there too, right down the road from him in Manchester.
Really?
Yep. I think they're pretty good friends too.
Sarah Silverman. How about that?
Yeah.
She's been in a bunch of stuff.
That's the Manchester claim to fame right there.
I don't know, man. I like that. We used to go to that back room all the time. They got unbelievable mudslide.
The tenders and the mudslides. You can only
Yeah.
have one though, right? I think they only let you.
No,
have one.
they give you two. They used to
two.
give us. I've had 5 or 6 of them before. Fucking got driven out of
They are
there.
it is the best mudslide and tenders in New
Yeah,
Hampshire.
in the state. That's why every time you go there, it's packed.
Yep.
You know, but so anyway, getting out of that.
So you popped your first seed in California.
Yep.
To really grow.
Yep. So,
98?
So the landlord noticed and said, "Hey, I can get this caregiver license. If you want to grow, you can grow for me." And I was like,
Oh,
"Of course."
perfect.
Like this has never been legal before anywhere in the country till Proposition 215 happened.
This is the first.
Yeah. So this happened, and then he's like, "I got the license. Dude, come down. We're gonna go to the Market Street Clinic, which is such a famous clinic. It was 2 stories right on Market Street, San Francisco." And he brought him in there. We stood in line. I actually had a photo ID of a caregiver license, which I still had to this day, but some shitbag stole my wallet. I would have liked to hold on to that forever because this was
that's-
1997 caregiver picture. It looked like a driver's license.
That's a piece of history right there.
It would have been
Sentimental.
Yeah. It would have been. I wish I could track it down. So I walk into this clinic, man, and I felt guilty for being there because back then this was all about compassion. Well, this whole thing started with compassion on the medical side. You know what I mean? There was people pushing IVs. There was people with cancer, AIDS, and I just felt guilty for being there. You know what I mean? But I knew I was taking care of this guy. Like he brought me into this. So after going there a few times, I ended up meeting Dennis Perron himself, which is the fucking godfather of medical cannabis. I don't know if
No,
anybody's
is he
ever
the
heard of him.
star? Is he one of the
He
guys
is
who started the
man, yeah.
movement?
Dennis Perron is the man. He passed away in 2018, but
Damn.
yeah.
What are we going on, Seth? There, just silence it. You know. What I'm saying?
You answer it. We don't care. We got like 6
No,
listeners.
it was an
Put it
alarm,
on
which is why it was in
speakerphone.
silence. Yeah.
Put it on speakerphone.
He said we got 6 listens.
So what is it? Dennis Perron?
Yeah, Dennis Perron. Yep. So I end up going there. You know, I go there a few times, and he ends up noticing me, and I end up talking to him, and then the guy I was caregiving for introduced me to him, and started talking, and he just took me in, and like next thing I know, I'm sitting in his office, and people are coming in doing business, and like this is when I first saw the blueberry, and like I'm just like blown away by this. You know what I mean? And he gave me my first 6 clones. I should also say, when I first walked up those stairs, I looked over and I see Brownie Mary behind the counter, like serving fucking edibles. Like that was wild to me. I don't know if you guys like
No,
old
who is
school
she?
high times. She's like the godmother or grandmother of edibles and making brownies. Like 'cause
start
I
of
used to
it.
In
love
San
High
Francisco?
Times.
Is that
High
where she-
Times was awesome at one point.
Is that where she's from? San Francisco?
She must be from that area. I guarantee it. Yeah, but I know Dennis Perron was.
Yeah. And you walk in, you see her.
I see her
talk
at the
to this
counter. I'm
guy.
like, wow, dude, that was just a trip. Like, it was crazy. The first legal view of cannabis was wild to be there at that, at that point.
And you had your ticket.
I had the card, dude, and so I'm blown away. And then he gives me these clones, and then I end up buying the Hydrofarm Mega Garden. It's like this little dinky ebb and flow system, and I have these insane clones. I can still remember it was blueberry, bubblegum, Northern Lights crossed with Silver Haze, and the other ones I can't remember. I still have the pictures in my office, though. It's like a Polaroid because you couldn't get film developed back then.
Right? You
had
didn't
a
put the old
Polaroid.
law dog on
So
you.
just Polaroid, yeah. Somehow I held on to those.
Hopefully your growth system wasn't a Phototron like what I had.
No, it was like a 400 watt bulb in like a Hydrofarm ebb and flow, and
Yeah, that's a little better than what I had.
the General Hydroponics 3-part, and it was off to the races for them. I was just in love. First of all, you see what people were gaining from it. It was about the compassion, and
Was the first
For me, it was about just getting high until I saw that. I'm like, wow, dude, yeah, this is something special. You know,
you
what I
can
mean?
actually help people?
Yeah. Yeah,
Was
it
the first
crazy.
grow a bust, or was it good or a bust?
It was good.
Good?
It actually turned out really good. And
Okay.
even though they were like this high, they were like Christmas trees. So I was like, wow, I can do this.
Was there anybody that was helping you, schooling you on
it was
growing?
a book, dude. The Grow Bible, the Jorge Cervantes.
Jorge
or
Cervantes.
something. I think it was the indoor Bible.
That
The
guy's-
internet was dial up, dude. If you wanted to wait 20 minutes to get online, and if you weren't
AOL.
scared enough, yeah.
Yep.
It was crazy at that time, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's when they like did a bunch of raids on like the grow stores,
Oh, yeah,
right? The
that
late
same
90s.
clinic.
Didn't Jorge's get caught up in that for selling the book and
That
stuff
same
like
Market
that?
Street clinic that I was going to got raided like every month. And I think Clinton was the president back then. But they, even though that it was, state legal, the feds would still raid that place.
It was the
Like
feds
they do
coming in.
now.
And Dennis Perone would reopen it, and then he just did great things. More people should know about Dennis Perone.
Sounds like he's a man that needs to be remembered.
Absolutely, for sure. If I can help with that, then I did my job.
Well, you
My
just did it
part.
now. You just.
Yeah,
I've
A
never
lot,
heard
a
the
lot of
name
the old
before.
heads
Me
will
neither.
know who I'm talking about for sure. Yeah, that's the history of that, where that started.
So you were in California for what? Maybe like 12 years.
5 years,
5
yeah.
years. Oh, and then you were in Hawaii 12,
And then I
right?
bounced, yeah.
What?
The city life got to me. You know what I mean? Beat me up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Running and gunning.
Yeah.
This guy was partying his ass off, a wee kid, and skating. They had some good skate guys there too.
Oh, hell yeah. Where's that?
California
yeah,
top
San
and
Francisco
Kauai.
is the best. I mean, all my friends were pro. A lot of them were anti-hero. Think Matt Pales he's from
Another hero.
Massachusetts.
I just I can't even ride a skateboard. I just it's so hard.
It is.
You
It
know,
takes
like
a
even to do
long
an
time.
ollie.
Yeah.
You know
Not
what
only
I
that,
mean?
you got to
Yeah.
take some pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like-
well, it's just
fall.
like dirt bikes. You take
Yeah.
pain,
Yeah.
but sometimes you take a lot of pain. Sometimes it's just a little.
Skateboard?
But those skateboard guys are doing incredible stuff now.
they keep progressing, dude, which blows my
It's
mind.
crazy.
So when was the last time you got on a board?
COVID, when that whole thing happened,
You were
Streets
rolling
were
around.
empty. Is that why?
it was the garage. I'm like, I got to do something, man.
You probably still have 10 boards laying around your house.
Oh, I have my wall is lined
Yeah, there you
with
go.
autograph boards,
Roll
like old
away.
school. Yeah, I still collect and I still watch and I pay
So do
attention.
you guys enjoy growing this weed?
I love it. Yeah, it'll never. That's the
What
only
are you
thing
growing
I
into?
couldn't imagine doing anything else.
What are
I
you
wouldn't.
growing in up there?
Cocoa.
Cocoa. You know, I
Forgiving.
was talking to Nick today. He loves that cocoa. He says the yields are the best, and
It's forgiving. That's
Yeah.
the main thing.
and all you I want to congratulate you again on the. You know what? I was actually wish I had time to stop like an award store and get you guys something because nobody has tested 6 for 6.
That's crazy.
I mean, you guys must be doing it right.
I mean, there was two reasons why. I mean, I was watching this show. Like, I felt like our testing was in order, and I always wanted it to be in order. You know what I mean? And I'm using 2 labs, keeping them honest. Felt like it was right. Wanted to submit it. That's the first reason. The second reason is if it's not, what a better place to come to than here for you guys. You guys aren't going to pull any punches.
Yeah, we're
So
not
then I
gonna lie.
definitely know.
No,
where I'm
absolutely
at. You know what I mean?
The whole thing is like it starts the conversation, right? Like when
Brutally honest.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Love
it's,
it.
it's interesting because it's like I started in 2016 and opened up the kind of director of operations COO as the 4th medical vertically integrated in Massachusetts. That's how I got our restaurants and that's what I did. And so jumped in there and I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I'm like running around. I'm like,
Figured it out.
Yeah, figuring out as I go, right? And
Yeah.
and it's like if I can't run this like a restaurant, it doesn't make sense to me like a restaurant. I'm just not the guy. Like I have the passion for cannabis. I've been doing a bunch of dinners and stuff, like all over Boston, like underground dinners and shit. And this opportunity popped up and I jumped into it. But like the first relationship that I really had was with like a lab director, right? Because at the end of the day, like there needs to be a partnership there, right? And a partnership that you have with a lab is a tremendous amount because like it's besides everything else, like potency, we can talk about potency, we can talk about other things, but like we take a look at cannabis in general, especially in Massachusetts, like it's one of the hardest states to get anything passed, right? We have the the most stringent rules on parts per billion.
I don't know
parts per
about
million.
that. All this testing we've been doing, a lot of people been passing, but not passing over here.
But here's the deal, right? So
No, he's talking about microbials.
microbial
10,000 CFU or whatever.
Yeah, right. So like what Kevin has a lot of hurdles and everything to find
Right.
a lab that works for him for all his cultivation needs. on my end of it, when we're doing product development for edibles, for all the concentrates we're doing, we're talking about rosin, we're talking about like a lot of different things, right? There's a lot of different components that go into what a lab partnership can do for you, right? And one of the most important things is in our edible program right now, like we're always pushing the boundaries. Like we're doing things that other people haven't done before, right? We just dropped you guys off some like sliced cheese. We do freezy pops. When we first started out, the first year, we did the first frozen pizza in Massachusetts, and we were like on Conan O'Brien and stuff like that. It's crazy.
How many milligrams could you have on the pizza?
So medical, you could do as much as you want. We had 350 or 500 milligram pizzas.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, it's a medical. There's no limit on dosage.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about where you worked previously when you did the pizza, or at Lazy River? Okay.
But the important part about it, right, is like there's a lot of responsibility in that, right? And if you can't trust the lab, I don't know, like when I was out in Colorado before, testing even existed out there, it's like you get a Chiba Chew and it's like it says 10 milligrams on it. There's probably 50 to 60. Right, because you have dinners. I'm having dinner with
like a hot shot.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's
going
like
down.
I'm having. It's funny because when I first started wrapping my head around how licensing works, like how Chiba Chews can get into Massachusetts and stuff like that. I'm like, well, how do you do that? It's the very beginning stages of all this shit, and it's interesting because they're like, you're talking through how that works and I was like, yeah, dude, and it's like you're talking to people at the very beginning stages of edibles in general, either tested or untested. But you're talking to someone, they're like, yeah, like, well, we tell everyone's 10 milligrams, but I'm going to give them 25 because I want that, like, a bigger bang for your buck. But, like, I don't know if I'm wanting to take 10 milligrams and someone
I want to take 10
Yeah,
milligrams.
if
I
it's
don't want to
my
be
first
tripping.
time
Yeah,
riding the
right.
bike.
Yeah, so exactly.
Do I want to hit the
I like a
throttle?
helmet, right?
Can I drink on these things?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, if you think you're taking a 5 and you're really taking a 50, that could...
It's right. It's huge. Like
It could bang you up a little bit.
You
Operate heavy machinery.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
when you learn the
I'm trying
difference
to drive
between
home.
5 and 50, right? It's not the best night of your life. And so, you're dealing with all these different situations, and then what we have, is how to, basically how to blend cannabinoids into food and how to pass testing on multiple different levels. So where I'm going with this long dryad is the fact that it's like when Kevin's taking a look at a lab, we're taking a look at labs for a bunch of different things, but one of the most important things is we're looking for people that we can have a great partnership with and that understand what we're looking for. And what we're looking for is to try to be as safe as possible with everything we're doing, and also to be as real as we possibly can.
Being transparent.
Yeah, because at the end,
And is the turnaround time a big thing with these labs?
Not so
Can
much.
some of them drag their feet, or are they all pretty consistent, like when you send product out? Because somebody was trying to tell me the other day that with testing and this and that, it takes like 3 to maybe 4 months before, like from when you harvest it to when it hits the shelf. Is that
as far as
accurate?
time, well, we test it right after it's been trimmed, basically. Like once it comes down and it's been bucked and it's in a package, then we send it out. And it's usually like 1 week, sometimes.
It's
a
usually
little longer, 10 days.
5.
So that's not really an issue then.
No.
It used to be.
It's fresh when it
Yeah.
hits the market.
Yeah, like way
That's
back
tough
in the
to-
day, there was a point where there was too many grows going on at the same time and not enough labs. There was like what's called 3 to 5 labs, right? So they're getting inundated by everyone's product, and everyone starts harvesting more and more and more at the same time. And these labs went from like 15 tests a day to like 50 tests a day. And
So you're opening a lab? You're going to open a lab?
No.
No.
They're dealing
He's
with
talking
a
about
lab.
like choosing a lab. Yeah,
but
how
when,
you would.
when we're talking to the lab part, like the labs that we work with,
Yeah.
like we're really picky about who we're talking to, and we're really making sure that, as Kevin said, that they're honest.
Legit.
Right.
So we'll send.
Well, who's the brand that we who's the lab that tested the
So
stuff
it
that we
turns
got?
out, because we just randomly picked all that off of and it turned out that 3 were G7 and 3 were Green Analytics.
So you
No
guys.
shit.
So when I was looking for my second lab, because I wanted 2 labs, I wanted to keep them honest. I wanted to run 2 labs. So I went. I'm not even going to say the name because there was a couple of them.
Yeah.
No, not necessary.
There's about 90% of the people that would have seen these results and been like, "That's our lab."
Yep.
Like a 24 was now a 32.
Yep.
It's like, and instantly I'm like, no, not happening.
So do you have conversations with these 2 labs? Because I've seen a couple of them, those labs like G7. They've been out of line a few times.
Yeah.
So is there like a conversation where you have with them where you're like, hey, I want accurate numbers? Like,
There's always that.
Are you stressing that?
Yes. That's always one of in the conversations. Like, I'm not looking to inflate anything.
Right.
I just want legitimate testing, and I want to make sure it's safe. Like, that's the first conversation you're going to have when you sit down before you send anything out.
Because there are labs that you can go to, right? That you're like, all right, well, their TAC is always going to come back like 5 to 7% higher, like across the board, right? And so when you're taking a look at that, sometimes it's interesting because like we'll geek out and we'll take a look at like, all right, we'll take a look at someone's flower, like 37% TAC. I'm like, all right, let me see the results, and they'll show shit, and I'm like, there's so much THCV in here.
THCVA,
right. That like.
What's that come from? Distillate or something?
No. So THCV is a cannabinoid that like it degradates over time, and different cannabinoids are degraded. But like what's really interesting about THCV is it started becoming really popular in the last 3 or 4 years because
They say it's got a medical properties.
it's an appetite suppressant.
Okay.
And people also say that like it gives you a little bit more of like a like an amphetamine, like an Adderall.
Okay.
Experience as well.
Amphetamines.
Yes.
You
So-
in California, you know
yeah.
about them.
So, so they'll be like, yeah, you get something THCV, like it's like you don't get hungry all
You've
day.
seen the
and you're-
tweakers
and
out
running
there.
around, right?
I've heard of that.
Right. So so people started like hyping up
bugging.
about this stuff, right? And so we're looking on the market, and we see people in through the hemp, ability in Massachusetts that we can bring in minor cannabinoids from hemp-derived products that are grown in Massachusetts.
Right.
It's part of the regulations and stuff. So we get a list from like the company that we buy like CBD from or different CBN, right? Like really amazing quality CBN that's from hemp grown in Massachusetts. And but then they sent us a list, and like THCV is like the most expensive minor cannabinoid right now because it's
It's up in the market.
it's it's such a small percentage grows like in pretty much anything, right? That people will start like
You
altering.
got to yield a lot. You got to have a big yield to get a
ton,
small
little
amount.
bit, right? So it's very expensive, and so people are constantly looking for plants in some areas that have like really high THCV contents, and we're talking high like 3%, like 4%.
And I think it's
5%.
where you pick it too with these plants because my buddy's got a strain and we've been testing it, and sometimes it'll have a lot of THCV in it, and then sometimes it won't.
I think it's during like also during the growing cycle too, like the generation of that cannabinoid. But it's crazy because like you see these test results come back, and you're like, well, it's the most expensive cannabinoid that you can buy, right? So you think of people's standards, right? That's how people are testing. You have a standard. So I have 100% THC, right? Standard. And then I'm testing something, and that's how you're figuring out where your testing comes in. So what ends up happening is because there's not a lot of regulation about the standards that are used in this testing, right. So when
I heard it's like a nightmare with some of these labs trying to ask the CCC like, how do I read this?
like,
what am I supposed to do?
there's
And
there's no guidance.
There's never a
right?
response.
So it's not the
like-
lab's fault. There's no guidance, right? So like
Everything's freelance because there's no knowledge.
Yeah, like what we have to do every day, we walk in there, we have a list of regulations of how we have to do everything, right? How we take our trash out, like how we lock up a dumpster, how he gets rid of stuff, right? Labs have a lot of regulations, but there's certain things that are really important, like how often are you changing your standards, and at what point does the standard not work? So if you have a Delta 9 standard and it started at 100, right? You bought it 3 months ago, and now that standard is down to like 87, right? Think about that. That bumps all of your potency up by like 13
Yeah,
points.
because the standard's degrading.
Right. So you
Right.
look
And that's
at,
what the standards what they use to measure to set their instrument, right?
correct. Exactly. So like
That's
you-
what
Just for the
they're
layman
thinking?
people.
so what ends
layman
up happening
terms.
is you have labs that are like, well, there's no regulation that you have to
I've been
adjust your
studying this a little
change
bit.
your standards out at any time.
More than me.
Right. And there's no regulation of what your standard has to be at for about a time. So the tax that we're seeing going up, like you start seeing THCV
No, I'm relaxed.
getting higher and higher and higher.
So that's kind of explaining it a little bit.
Yeah, because you look at the THCV, right? It gets higher and higher and higher, and you're like, okay, it's just because like that's the most expensive standard to get, right? So because it as you said, a lot of yield.
Is
gives
it
you a little bit.
volatile too? Does it dissipate
Yeah.
quickly?
So the whole idea is like you see that you can see like those numbers creeping up. So you're even if your potency of THCA or Delta 9 are at a certain level, your tax way high because your THCV is going up because they're not changing their standard out.
Well, I got a question. Who handles picking the sample to send out to the lab for the flower? Is that you, Cam?
So that's my post-processing manager. So when it comes down, it all gets bucked into 15-pound bags,
Yeah.
and then it's randomly pulled out.
Okay.
So if that sample is pulled from, say, randomly as the top of the plant, it might have more THC, but it's going to have less terps.
Okay.
So if it's so you're going to see a little bit of fluctuation, I'm sure, as you guys know.
So this is what I was trying to say to somebody. And it actually came up with your guys' samples that we had tested.
Yep.
That if you're really just grabbing random, and there's, you've got a uniform batch and you're just grabbing a random sample, you should be a little bit over what the test sample was. Sometimes you should be a little
exactly.
under. Like you should be on both sides.
Same with the terps. It should fluctuate.
But like a lot of these,
not much.
But a lot of these brands, like the ones that fail, we go buy them, and they're always like 20-30% less.
Yeah.
So my question for you is how much do you think goes into play of how you guys how honest you guys are with picking your sample for the actual representation of the product that you're sending out? To the lab. Do you think that plays a big part? Because
absolutely,
you were 6 for 6, but you were a little bit over sometimes of what the listed was. Sometimes you're a little bit under.
That's how it should be.
A little bit over. So I'm like, see, that's random.
That's how it should be.
Not 30% less every time.
I could see people like maybe marking the tops or trying to tell people which ones to select from to try to get a higher number. But I don't think it would. I don't think it would be that much higher, but you should see a little bit over, a little bit under, a little bit. You should see that fluctuation.
Because it's like random, right? Like they teach you, you get a set of dice. Every time you roll it, you have the same odds of getting any of the number.
But it should never go from a 24 to a 34.
Right. So you should have the same odds of whether you're up or over, whatever. If you're random sampling and your stuff's kind of uniform.
I like the moose on the
You should
insignia.
always be, all around that, But a lot of these brands, there'll be like 3 of them will be.
And it's a lot. Like you
off
figure,
30%.
you think about a company like there's the difference of 8 to 10% is another tier that an eighth is in. You think about all the wholesale, all the retail. I mean, in order to do what we do and to try to keep it legit and honest, you're missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah.
I was telling Trevor that, quality and, being honest is you're going to get a more organic following.
Yeah, that's what we hope.
And that's what you want to.
That's the thing is like if you're it's funny. I have this conversation all the time with people, right? So it's like, I started in Massachusetts like the first year that it became medical, and then been in it ever since. But it's like traveling all over the country, traveling all over the world. Like I'm going to Spain next week, right? Going to Barcelona. You walk down the street, there's cannabis clubs on every block, right?
Yeah.
Some favorite ones. You go in there, like potency is never mentioned. It's not on a menu. No one talks about it, right? And even like when I first started going to California, when I got my medical card out there, like, for a 1-week trip, and to go in there and you're going to the dispensaries, you go to Colorado, like there's no question or there's no even branding anything about potency whatsoever. It's like, this is Cashmere Kush. Either like Cashmere Kush or you don't, right? You're not like, oh, this is 27%, or like, last week it came back at 18, so I might not buy it now. It's
right. People are looking for genetics, California genetics,
exactly.
Stuff that's you see, but you don't get in Massachusetts.
Yeah. And so like, it's interesting because we started off and like, after we ran the coming for first year, it's so funny because like when I look back on it, we look at the sales of everything. It's once people pick a strain, right, or they pick a cultivar that they're in love with, like after a while, like the potency doesn't matter to them as much, right?
Right.
They're buying sour diesel at 20%, or they're buying sour diesel at 28%. It's sour diesel. Like
they're
that's
buying
that
it for the cultivar.
Exactly.
Itself.
So it's interesting now because like then the market changed here in Massachusetts, where like potency starts slowly like becoming. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought after a while people would be like, oh, it's really just about the quality of the flower, the taste, the smell, the experience, the high, like how you felt about the strain and what that strain did for you, and your relationship with it, rather than like a number, right?
Everybody's focused on numbers.
And now, right. So I thought it was going to go, I was like, all right, this is going to like for 2 years, Mass will like kind of care about this. And then everyone's going to go like the West Coast model where they're just like, selling it, right? And it went the opposite. People started caring more and more
about it.
But the thing that I think is the best thing that's happened, in my experience right now with seeing where things are going, which I think is in a very positive direction, is that as you were talking about picking samples, like, I don't know, I've noticed a bunch of people, right? And like, they'll go in and be like, cool, potency matters. I'm going the tippy top of the cola. I'm cutting that off. I'm drying it separately than everything else. I'm taking care of that as like my baby, because that's my test sample, right? But it's like, that's not anything like what the rest of your batch is going to be like.
It's not honest.
Exactly. So then what I think kind of in a way is starting to keep people more honest, which is what he brought up a little earlier, is the fact that like, now that you see the number I think is relevant, right, is the terpene number, right? Mm-hmm. Is the terpenes in there, to me, it's showing the vibrancy and the health of the plant. and what you're getting out of it, right? That's where all your flavonoids, your like all your cannabinoids, all the freshness that's coming from it, and it's.
But that's another thing too. That'll lead to another terpene inflation. I think they should just list the terpenes and not even show the value
Or
and
the
show
THC.
Right.
The legacy days.
It should just be
what
one
happened
thing.
in the legacy days? You would have 3 turkey bags. You set them on the table. First, you're looking. It was like, yeah, that's fire. I'll take it.
Yeah, but the good thing
Before
about it,
you
right?
even smoke it.
Yeah, look, smell.
But what he
Boom.
said,
It's
says
super
a lot.
deceiving now.
But what he
You
said
know what
about
I
the
mean?
terpenes too is like it really, if you think about it, like that's actually it's pushing back a little bit about the people that are just like gaming the system for potency, right? So as he said, like your cola, you're gonna get like that's where you're gonna get your highest level of cannabinoids at the very beginning, but you're not getting the terp numbers there.
Well, that's been too. It's like different. Like I guess it's like different nodes, and then or if the grower's got too much light, fucking burning the top, so it's really not the top anymore. Now it's deeper
Called
into
the terp kill zone.
Yeah.
Right. Like
But now that terps matter, people aren't going to go for that big cola that's like a very tippity top that's going to give them that high potency because their terp numbers are going to be really low. And that's the only reason why I'm excited about seeing these terp numbers come up, because it's like you're seeing people are putting forward what the most accurate representation of that plant, of that harvest is, right? Which is those middle buds. The things that are getting that are nice and healthy.
And you can tell, and that's what I try to tell people. But then everybody's just like, oh, well, it's the lab, or they always say, hey, different parts of the plant's going to be different. But okay, I get that. So now you're saying different parts test differently, but sometimes always when I send you a sample, when I retest it, it's 30% lower. So like now you're in one breath you're telling me you don't know where it is, that it's random, but then your results are showing me that you do.
Right.
Because it's always, whatever your tested number is like 30% more than what it actually is,
But that's why you find a great lab that you partner with. You tell them right up front, like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for honest testing. I'm looking for safe testing.
Well, you guys do have an advantage, though, over other places, because I was looking at your web. Nice building, by the way. Looks very clean.
Come down. You should have came down with him. I know you're an HVAC guy. You would have liked to seen all that kind of stuff.
Oh, the cooling. What are you guys using for cooling?
We do reheats for, so we don't have any
Reheats?
dehumidifiers. We use the reheats.
Do you?
The Desert
How
Air.
you like it? What brand?
Desert Air.
Desert Air.
Once you get them dialed in, and if the compressors don't fail,
How's the summer?
Every
Compressors
month?
do pop like popcorn sometimes.
we had a bad run of compressors when we first built the place, and they all failed like a month apart.
Well, there's a reason why they fail. They finally figured it out. Because the manufacturer will keep giving the guy who was working on a compressor till he figured it out.
That's the thing.
That's how you got to do it sometimes.
They replace the compressor, but they don't pay to have the crane come down and load it up and install it and fucking.
Well, usually that's on the installation guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
And he blows it. Because I've been putting stores in for 41 years. I do refrigeration.
Yeah.
And I put in stores and I've lost my shirt, but I stayed there and finished the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff blew up and I'm like, finally figured it out after a month of not, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there is, dude.
And then with you guys
and
and cooling, you guys use LEDs, right?
No, we use HPS, and that's
Oh,
another thing.
that's why your weed's so damn good.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my man right there.
That's why. Another
Changing
thing,
it up on them.
Yeah.
I'll run HPS until they
Your electric bill
pry
must
'em
be
from
sky
my
high.
cold dead hands.
So you're using reheats, huh? And how much canopy do you have?
Just under 10,000. So
Beautiful. You know what? You're doing it right, because here's your advantage. You guys, 6 for 6, so you're doing something definitely right. Your place is probably immaculately clean. That's what he said. And you own the dispensary, so you don't lose the profit, and you can do better things, because a lot of these guys that are doing what you're doing, they're so far in debt, they're not even covering it. They keep borrowing. They're getting, you know what I'm saying? They just have to pump it out and not care.
Yeah.
You guys have that luxury of getting that extra 15 or 20%, and you can put it back in the facility, because it looks like you just opened another one in Bill Ricker.
Tewksbury.
I'm sorry, Tewksbury.
Yep, that was retail, and then the other one's the vertical.
Oh, you got a
one.
medical one too?
Nope, it's rec.
Oh, retail. Yeah,
Yep.
That's
So everybody can go get it.
no, that's good, because you're growing it, and that weed at all testing on point. You should be able to get premium money for that weed. No question about it.
And I kind of had an idea it was going to test too, because you're not trying to rope people in with high THC numbers. I think the highest one was like 24 or something percent, maybe.
Yeah,
24% THCA, and I think they were all around 20.
Yep.
One was even 19% THCA, I believe.
Well, I can tell you
Just
for a
off-
fact
off
that
the top?
And
the
they're
older
smoking.
strains had legs. You know, say how they mix, everything's been mixed, and
Yeah.
the older ones didn't have the THC numbers. But man, you got steam for 3
Oh, yeah,
4
for
hours.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
You
And
were out in California, you know.
everything that we grow at Lazy River was all from seed, because I've made that mistake so many times. Like, I could go out and get an award-winning cut like tomorrow that's already won awards. But I think I was mentioning that to you. It's like I like hot rods. Like, you know what I'm into hot rods. Like, it's almost like somebody built me a hot rod, and this is just me personally.
And me just drive it and take all
somebody,
the glory.
Somebody builds me a hot rod, and then I go enter it into car shows, and I get these awards. It doesn't feel right for me. Like, I want to, if I didn't seed it or breed it, it's like I don't really want to enter it into anything. And that's just personal. If anybody else wants to do that, I have no problem.
I agree.
We just hunted everything. I made that mistake before of bringing in a cut, and then you shoot yourself in the foot. You bring in something that you don't want into your facility.
Are
you
you
having
growing out that plant that we seen that you were pheno hunting?
Oh yeah,
that
the
one?
watermelon one.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
know if
still
I could
going.
say it.
You could say it, yeah,
yeah.
the watermelon, and then there's a strawberry one that'll be coming down the pipe that we're really excited about. We had that.
That was
full
really
room.
stinky.
That was a full room seed hunt that we've done before. So it's 40 lights, just a seed hunt. So that alone, the amount of money that you lose, you saw how many holes were in there because of herms or males
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
So you're missing out on a lot of money, and it's hard for a smaller place to do that because that bench space is so valuable. You know what I mean? And because we have a lab, if there's something that we deem not worthy,
Unacceptable.
it'll go to the lab or.
And that's what's being all, you got all the different arms of the business there, manufacturing, grow, retail.
Yep,
you
that
can
helps.
you can hide some of your loss, like you said, made an interesting point. We make decisions, sometimes we lose a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
Just to say, put out a good product to the people.
Yeah.
You gotta
know?
you gotta constantly be moving, velocity. The fast die last. If you're not constantly innovating, you're just gonna get passed over. You know what I mean? And I can't stop personally. This is all I know how to
This is
do.
a rapid paced game.
It is.
It is
for
because
sure.
flavors are coming out. They're spraying stuff just to have it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's good
on
about
the
that.
street. Yeah, the
Yeah.
black market sometimes push it,
You gotta
pushing up
innovate.
against
you
the
gotta,
legal.
You gotta keep going, dude. If you get
Yeah.
complacency will kill you in this industry for sure.
And maybe we can finish this with the one story. So you were in Cali, San Fran, 5 years. Then you go out to Hawaii.
Hawaii's where it really ramped up, where the craziness happened.
I don't know. Do we want to talk about what happened
yeah,
in
sure.
Cali? Like,
Yeah.
did it start from a small thing, go to a big, or we just want to say, we handled business in Cali and we went out
Cali
to...
was good. I needed to get out. You know what I mean? So I went to Hawaii just to visit my friends, like, come over here and just chill for a little bit. And then I went out there and I stayed for 12 years. It's an easy place to stay.
Wow.
You got a one-way plane ticket?
Yeah, it was one way.
Time warp.
I didn't have much.
Time
dude.
that 12
I
years
had,
like that.
I had nothing, dude. I think I had like 2 pairs of pants, a pair of shorts, a couple shirts, and then a 40 caliber handgun.
You ever do any surf? You ever do any
got on the
surf?
plane
That's
with
all I
that?
had. Yeah, dude. If you can check it through baggage as long as you show it's unloaded.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow I held on to that my whole life. It's funny. But so yeah, I get there and then I end up meeting the right people, and then the conversation happens of what I used
There was
to do.
weed growing in Hawaii, was there?
Oh yeah, dude.
Man,
But-
I've smoked some really
but
good
you'd
weed
be
out of
surprised
there.
it was all indoor. So big generators, diesel generators. You know, like the job
They put it in the
site?
ground, the pipe, and
Almost.
the silencer pit.
Almost, yeah. So those big whisper watts, those big job site generators. So 45 kilowatt. That was like your badge of honor in Hawaii if you had a 45K generator.
You were the king if you had
Operational.
45.
You know you can do the rest. You just got to get that generator.
So that's where you honed your skills in Hawaii.
Yeah,
that's where
that's when it ramped up.
things got a little serious.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Yeah.
snag any land races?
No. Actually, we monocropped White Widow, the old school White Widow, for a very long time because everybody was so isolated. Nobody
Right.
wanted to share anything. It's a small island. So if anybody got word of what you were doing, you were getting ripped or raided.
Wow.
The 2 R's, one or the other.
Two
What island were you at, or did you move around?
Big Island.
Big
So,
Island.
Yeah, I was on the Puna side.
You were into surfing out there, right?
No, I mean I did surf, but I would never say I surf. My friends.
Those
surfed.
guys are amazing too.
I would
Yeah,
go
that's
out there,
incredible.
but I don't.
Shocky.
Yeah, it's all risky.
You get the shark.
sure.
A lot of people, there's a shark. They're surfing and they see the sharks in the water, and a lot of the sharks they're pretty smart.
Be more scared of the locals than the sharks, though.
Well,
honestly.
You know, when they got
There's
their
a
own
pecking
beach
order.
and their own turf.
That's what I'm saying. I thought maybe he surfed, but he's like, nah, I didn't surf out
He was
there.
a
Locals got the
skater.
surfing on lock out there. I'm like, this guy can't even say that he surfed
I'm
out
not gonna
there.
claim it. I'm not claiming it.
So
I mean, how
he stuck to skateboarding in Hawaii.
Can you imagine how many times you've been yelled at skating someplace? Now it's a lot more acceptable.
Oh, yeah, that's
you know, because
true.
you sit and watch the kids like in Boston,
Yeah.
like in
Oh,
Boston,
yeah.
and they're incredible. Some of these kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you know, incredible
Yeah, that
doing,
shit's a
and
lot
then
of
you
work.
know, see incredible wipeouts.
Yep.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Hawaii
when did
ramped
you
up.
guys get back together and start hook up? Something was
that's-
going on.
That's a great question. So after Hawaii, there was that big market crash. I think it was like, it actually hit Hawaii like 2011, 2010.
Okay.
So, you know, tourists stopped coming, people weren't building houses, and then, you know, all the people that used to buy weed, it just all slowed down. And there was a bunch of stuff going on too at the time where I knew if I kept going, bad things were going to happen.
Time to come back home.
Yep. So I did a summer in California, up in Northern California, you know, in between. Then came back to New Hampshire, and I was like, I just need a break. So I did the hydro store thing for a while. So in Manchester, we had a hydro store for about 4 years. And New Hampshire, it went medical. That was supposed to be a big thing, but they removed home grows, so that's not going to happen for a hydro store. So and then I'm
Got your
selling,
dick stepped on up there.
I'm teaching all these people how to grow, and I'm selling them lights and this and that, and they're like crushing it. I'm like, what am I doing? I gotta get back out there. So I just bounced up to Maine, and then jumped back into the caregiver game. Did that for a while, and then that's when. So my partner William, I have William and Mark are my two partners that I went to high school with.
Okay.
So William was a Planet Fitness guy. I think he had like 25. If I get this wrong, he's gonna yell at me. I think he had
Maybe you
like,
said 24.
I think he had 24, 25 Planet Fitnesses, like brick and
Oh,
mortar.
that's the guy with
stores.
all the money.
Right.
That's the smart guy. We always have that one friend who has all the money and smart. He doesn't know how to grow the fucking weed, but he's
Both of
smart and
them.
has the money.
Both of
us up
them are
with him, right?
brilliant. in their own way. Mark's a genius too. Honestly, they're both brilliant, but we each have our own little niche. So, he came up. He's like, "Yo, I'm thinking about getting the weed. I heard that you're, you know, growing up there." I came up and toured my thing, and he would drive all the way up there, you know, to buy the weed.
Oh, so he smoked weed too?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yep, both of them.
So
do.
he went, you know, hey, you know, you
I
doing
got this going on. It could be a lot bigger.
Maybe you should come over here. I got some money to invest.
So he's
Here we
ready.
go.
He's ready to get out of Planet Fitness, and then 2 or 3 months before COVID really hit, he packaged them all up and sold them, which was
Good move.
insane timing, and it was
Good
luck,
move.
whatever you want to call it. We didn't know
Karma.
COVID was really coming at the time.
Right. Nobody knew.
And then that's where like, all right, and they're like, you guys want to do this? I'm like, yep, I do. Let's do it.
And away you go.
And now we're in Dracut. So he found the spot in Dracut, and then we all got together. And Mark's an operations guy in IT. He's worked, you know, big teams in the corporate world, and everybody just has their niche. That it was like a good recipe. So like a lot of people that would hear the Lazy River name, they assume it's some big company, and there's all these investors and.
You guys seem pretty legit over
we
there.
have good marketing, so
QR
that's-
codes that you can scan products.
Right. Like I
Legitimize
said-
your product.
So we appear like we're big, but we're really not, dude. It's just 3 people that really just got together and did it, and there's no board that we have to run all our decisions through. Like we
Yeah, it's
can
just
ma-
you
we can
guys
make
in a room
decisions
yelling at
like
each other,
this.
smoking weed.
Yeah,
I can see it all now.
Yep.
Now, you guys got a
all
good operation
screaming.
going, man. And you can tell quality is the key goal.
Thank you.
And that's what, you know what I mean?
Awesome. I'm glad that
That's
resonates.
We got to
what's
issue these
missing
guys
in
an
this
award,
industry.
Trevor.
Yeah, smoke one on.
Yeah, you know
Appreciate
what? I got steamed again. You know, we've had some of the bigger guys on, and 2 out of their 3 tested not 6 for 6.
Yeah,
That's
not
like
6
batting
for
1,000, dude.
That's
I mean-
better than Ted Williams.
It's awesome, and I didn't know until you guys told me on this show because
Well, I
I knew
couldn't
that
be-
you had tested them, and you're like, yeah, it turned out pretty good, and I'm like.
Yeah,
Oh, you kept them in
I
suspense?
like how you left. Yeah,
You
he left a little
suspense
bit
them?
of breadcrumbs.
Dude, he was
there.
like pacing in the lab. He's like, I'm still waiting to hear.
No,
it."
I was stressed, dude. I texted you, right? I was
Yeah.
like, dude. Yo,
No, we had
just
like
let
a
me know,
news
dude.
brief.
I got a little anxiety.
A news brief on that.
no,
6 for 6. I mean, I was like, yeah, okay.
no, but that's
And he
right.
goes, no, really, 6 for 6. I'm like, come on. And he goes, you got to come over and look at this weed. I tested it all, and they all tested out, every one of them. And I couldn't believe it because we've had so many brands on here, and 0 for 3, 1 for 3, 1 for 4, 0 for 4. I mean, there's
Yeah,
just
like
so many.
80% of it
I got the
is
notes
like
on all
those-
the
So-
failures, man.
So more importantly, how did you? Well, not necessarily more importantly, but how did you like the weed? Like when you smoked
The
it,
weed
like,
tasted great. I would, if I didn't like it, I would tell you right away.
That's awesome.
And
Look
you,
at- I don't
and
even
you,
got it lit yet. There's already a resin ring.
and
Which one is that?
that's
one?
good.
Juicy J.
Oh, nice.
So you
Yeah.
guys obviously smoke weed, so you know what good weed is, and
Yeah.
you're growing
Shit
it.
tastes
The Cherry
Doin.
Waves was actually bred in house. So the Cherry Waves, I took a pink Skittles and crossed it with a bombshell. So the Cherry Waves is an in-house. It's a first of
You
our
lighter?
Lazy River genetics. Almost got it.
You got any
I was
flowers
just going
so
to
I can
ask
hold
you
it
that. What
backward?
cultivars you working with?
Oh, geez, I think there's like 15 now. But the pink Skittles, I just wanted to improve on it.
Skittles is a finicky plant
The
as well
pink
to work
Skittles,
with.
yeah, I think it has like Skittles bomb in it. It's a Tiki Madman. But I wanted to improve it, so I took the 808. I use a lot of 808 from Hawaii, JB. And I had
Shout
a
out.
male, shout out JB, 808 Genetics, for sure. I found this gem, like added some yield, added some looks. It still had that pink Skittles profile, but I was really happy with that one.
That's beautiful, bro.
So Lazy River Genetics will actually, I mean, I don't consider myself a breeder in any way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more of a hunter. I'll breed to hunt.
What's this for?
More of a hunter than a predator.
Absolutely. So that's coming.
So you said, how did we like the weed? All testing aside, fuck the testing. You know what I mean? The weed was good and fresh. You know, a lot of these brands, like, I don't know if it's because they're dealing with a retailer middleman, you know, or it's
Yeah.
old product. How much time do you take in making sure to keep like throttling the product so you don't overgrow? So like, you know, because I found all the weed was pretty fresh.
Like fishing
You guys
restrictions.
Spreadsheet master right here, dude.
So that one of the things that we really are trying to figure out, like consistently improving on, is how to deal with like bulk, right? Bulk in different areas, right? Whether it's bulk A buds that need to go into eighths, popcorn bud that we're going to go into like joints and joints and pre rolls, infused products, or also like bags of popcorn. So pretty much all of Kevin's Lazy River product flower is going to be between like 1 and 6 months of harvest. And so just like keeping on track of making sure that we're
pretty
trying to
good.
give the freshest possible. It's a moving target, right? It's just like how the harvests come down, how some strains sell faster than others, how some things are received, and then the ebbs and flows of sales that you have. It's really just like a consistent, like, so every week, one of the first things I do on Monday is I print out a report of our sales and inventory of all of our products that we have, try to figure out like what needs to go on the production lines, that needs to go to our retail, and what
See where you're at.
see where we're at for sales, right? But then the second thing that I do is I take a look at whatever we have in bulk product all across in terms of the different aspects of the freshness and what we can use each thing for. So we're constantly trying to innovate, as Kevin was saying. It's like you got to keep moving, right? So sometimes we'll have like, sometimes we'll be flying through pre-rolls, but like only like 6 strains, right? But if he has like 12 to 14 going at the same time, the other popcorn bud is just like piling up, right? Because we're just like, we don't need
it's
to
just
make as many
sitting there.
pre-rolls.
So
just
that
sitting there.
goes to concentrates. Or,
Either or we're like, okay, great, like let's do what we want to do with that flower. Is if it's the quality still there, right? It's so amazing flower, it's popcorn buds, but why don't we just give people like the option of getting like a reduced price 14-gram bag of popcorn buds? Right?
Okay.
Just see whether people like it, right? If
Not
they don't,
bad.
if they like, no problem, right? Or, if you don't look at the size of the nug structure, right?
You wouldn't know.
It smells, it's fresh, it smokes awesome. If you're throwing in a grinder anyway to do whatever to do with it, it's, to me, I like a big bud, but like at the same time, like some really great popcorn bud at like a value, right?
A lot of people are budget.
Yeah, and then the rest of the stuff you sell at a premium.
But it's not
Quality,
budget
yeah.
weed, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not budget quality. It's just smaller nugs, right?
Right.
Like at the end of the day. So it's like to try to figure out, okay, cool, let's see if people like it. Awesome. Now all of a sudden that's moving really heavy. And then we're like, okay, great. We're still selling all of that for under 6 months from harvest. Then after 6 months from harvest, it gets made into like different products with different pricing structures. But we're very honest and upfront about it. And
So you guys are keeping eyes on this and
every
making
week,
sure
every week, yeah.
This TLC.
Yeah.
he's keeping
I'm not
eyes
the
on
spawn
it.
on,
Seth.
Dan.
Yeah.
Thank God I have a spreadsheet guy, and he's my friend.
In a new industry, I think being vertically integrated and allowing you to keep your hands close to a lot of these flows and controls, you can really, control your brand and actually deliver the type of quality product you want to deliver to
And it
the
helps
consumer.
if you're privately owned and the partners, my partners are on the same page as I am. Like we have the same vision. Like what I'm here, relaying to everybody is the same vision that they have. There's nobody else saying, oh, they need to grease the wheels, they need to get paid. They're the investors. You got to go with that higher tester.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We have to have some integrity. Like my dad always said, be honest and never half-ass anything, and that always resonated with me my whole life.
I love
those two
HPS.
things go a long way.
Well, I gotta ask, was there any?
I love that.
No, I love HPS.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's the best thing, the way to grow.
It's
When
hard
all
to
the
find
old
bulbs
guys,
when that shit
the older
blows.
guys will tell you the same thing. And like you talk to the young bloods, they want, LED, and you put it in a different zone. And, I remember back in the day, you have the lights and then you
Yes,
change the
man.
bulbs.
Oh, yeah.
To the
It's
bloom.
expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at the ZA Olympics and a lot of these cups that are being won, it's a lot of it is still HPS.
Your electric bill must be astronomical.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're in the Hall of Fame. Like every month, the electric company must send you like a bouquet of flowers or something.
But I mean, even LEDs are a little bit more efficient. You need more dehumidification.
40%.
You
know what
the
I mean?
dehumidification, because those HPS will burn off a lot of that moisture.
Yeah, but I
you
think
know what I mean?
the HPSs, they charge up the buds better. You know what I'm saying? How buds
think
grow
so,
at night
too.
like cucumbers. The next day, you have a little cucumber in your garden.
You get better coverage too, and they're pinned at the ceiling. They're 10 feet off the canopy, whereas LEDs, you're like trying to work
Oh,
directly
you're putting it up
under
and
them.
down
So
like
there's
a
a big
cable
shadow.
system.
Lower them too, you know.
Just like you go on a fucking sailboat.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean,
Moving
I
them
know
up and down
someday.
all the time.
I know someday it's gonna have to happen. I'm not opposed to it. But when you buy into an LED, you're kind of buying into that spectrum. You know what I mean? What that company does. I know what an HPS is. I know what I can do with an HPS.
Obviously,
I don't
you're
wanna be
doing something
cursed.
right with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Him and his HPSs.
So how long was it when you and your two buddies were like, yeah, we're gonna get into weed before you got one of the first places open? What opened first? The main place where you have the cultivation and the retail?
The Dracut facility, and we knew we
All
wanted,
at
we
once?
wanted to be vertical. You know what I mean? We knew, and so that opened in 2021, I think. So we opened retail first, and then got that going. So and then
Start bringing them
then I
in.
was commissioning cultivation, and starting from seed, it's way more expensive and takes way longer.
Months.
But you're
Months,
sterile, you know what I
months.
mean? And you have your own cuts. Even though somebody else might have this other Juicy J or whatever, it's like, this is the Lazy River cut, it's a little different.
This is the one you hunted.
Because we hunt it, yeah.
Right.
What's a phenotype that grows up in the environment that it's going to live, right? And so that's what so people bring in clones at the very beginning of it, and it's like, if you have someone that's pheno hunting, if you think about it, right, they're pheno hunting a plant that's going to live in that environment, right? And so a lot of times when you're growing something, you see the success that it's growing in the environment that you have.
And then you bring it into this different environment, it might not do the same
thing, right? So like I
response.
see people like, I've been I've been working with growers before where like they'll have one cut at one place and that cut will be amazing. That's what brings everyone in, right? That's like
Right.
one or two, right?
Right.
And then the grower's like, I'm out, right? And I'm bringing my cuts with me. And then you have same cuts.
It doesn't work.
Nope. And I'm telling you, like sometimes like I would drive 45 minutes because like, man, I need some of that Sunset Sherbert. I haven't had in a long time. Like show up at the guy's new place, like same cut. And I was like, it's not the same. Like I wait for the next harvest. Maybe you need to dial it in. It's just never the same. So I think the pheno hunting is like a really important aspect of it when you're pheno hunting in your own environment, because you're looking for that plant that thrives
in that
the environment that you're growing in.
Them lights, that setup.
Everything, right?
Everything's
like
different.
Yeah, but
Light
you should have
spectrum.
the capacity as a grow place in any room to make any environment you want. That's a lot of problem with a lot of these growers too. They don't have enough cooling. They don't have enough dehumidification. They got problems with mold. There's a lot of problems. And another thing, you guys don't seem to be in that position. You guys are like seem like you're on point. A lot of people out there, they're flying by the seat of their pants. They're way in the mortgage. They have to pump it out, and they're giving it away. The poor. I feel bad for the guys out there, and you guys probably know a bunch of them.
Yeah, we're hiding it really well, huh?
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
So you guys were gonna go into business, and then you open up. When did you guys come up with the plan to go into business? What year was that? Because you
It
opened
was
2021.
right- so
was it
yeah,
like a
it must have
3-year
been right
road?
before COVID. So 2018, we started talking about it.
You guys rolled quick.
Yeah, I mean, you got it. Like I said, velocity.
No, with all you guys focus on, did you guys do a lot of construction yourselves?
Oh yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot. Did you put the coolers together yourselves and everything?
I
and all?
mean, no, we used Urban Grow. They designed the whole facility, and they did a great job. Kenco built the place. They did awesome. Shout out Kenco.
Equipment's retardedly expensive.
It took a little longer because they built through COVID too. You know what I mean? And there's all the other delays that go on with it. You know what I mean? The longer.
Oh yeah, during COVID
everything
construction, there was
doubled.
all sorts of precautions, water, fucking masks. They got to wash their hands every so often.
Then you got the
like
CCC
limited the
hoops.
number of guys in a building.
Yeah, that's
I never got a shot. I didn't never got one, but I got sick a couple of times. But
Actually, I got the first one, and it made me sicker than when I got COVID.
really,
Yeah, I
Go
got so
figure.
sick from the vaccine.
it made you
was
sicker
crazy.
than that.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm glad you
Absolutely.
made it because a lot
Thank
of
you.
people had some bad effects from it, but some people had no
Yeah.
effects at all.
That's true.
So yeah, congratulations on the 6 for 6 again.
I can't wait to see the episode, and I want to actually shout out my team actually in Lazy River because they're savages. And it wouldn't all this like I'm here talking and doing my spiel, but my team back there, I love them, and they're the extended family, and without them, you know, that wouldn't be possible. They share the same vision too.
You're only as good as the people that are around you.
That's true.
You know, if you have a bunch of schmucks and they don't want to show up for work, I mean, these guys probably I'd love to show up in the sunshine every day. Everybody's got a nice tan all winter.
Yep.
You know, HPS is like almost a natural sunlight, almost. It's close.
Yep.
But
My
that
eyes
must
are
be
fried.
10 feet from the ceiling, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
The great thing about it seems like every day is like the complete passion. You know what I mean? It's like it's easy, you know, when you're having a good day to walk into work in a good mood and stuff. But seeing his team every day, I mean, it can be like, you know, dark at 5 o'clock, you know, at night, and just like the dead of winter, and people are driving through the slush and the snow.
Guys are in the fucking Hawaii inside the cooler.
They're walking through the hallway like to go up to the grow, and like everyone's just like smiling, stoked about what they have to do, super focused. But like the team effort that they all do, like everyone works like as this big cohesive unit. There's not any like amount of like someone's like more proud or thinks that they have like, you know, more knowledge or anything like that. It's like they go in every day and they have a purpose, they have a job, but it's just like seeing how excited everyone is about everything all the time, and like that's what inspires you to do better, right? Like
Right.
if you're sitting around a bunch of people and like everyone's
Depressed
stoked to
and-
be there, and they're
yeah.
like, you know, right? It's a whole different mindset. Is if you walk in and people are like, "This is the last place in the world I want to be." Is at work right now?
yeah.
You're like, fuck
Yeah,
What
buying
the
a
fuck?
bunch
I
of
gotta
weed
go work
plants.
with this guy
Yeah,
today, and now you're already pissed
yeah, but it's
off.
like you see people going in, and it's like every day they're stoked to be there. Like every day they're excited about the program. Every day they take so much pride in what they're doing. It's like it really pushes the boundaries of like what you have in terms of expectations.
No, it definitely shows through in the flower. Like I think the oldest of the eighth maybe might have been like 2 months after test date that I got.
Okay.
And it was all still pretty. It was all fresh, you know.
The next step is jars. We're working into
Yeah.
getting glass jars. I already have them designed. That's like the next step is to get out of those.
school.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. But other than that one eighth, and I think that thing was only like 2 weeks after test date, so
Yeah.
it was just a malfunction, you know, malfunction with the jar.
Yeah.
But the product's on point.
That's
you know?
one cool thing about the plant itself is that it gives you back what you put in, like without a doubt.
And I was blown away by the fact when we were going through that place, they have is a team of 5 that
Yeah,
run the
there's
cultivation.
only 5 up there. I mean,
Rob, they got 5 people in the cultivation up there.
I'm
5?
I'm kind of half a person, but
Well-
because I'm pulled away a lot. But yeah, so that's
Wait, you're counted as one of the 5 in there?
yeah. So
No
so it's
shit.
4.5 basically.
You
So
guys
4
go in there, get to
people.
play with the weed all day, little here, little there, you know,
Yeah.
just the water, this, that.
So my basic goal or my job is to set them up for success. So I'm setting all the irrigation strategies, environments, making sure that you know the genetics are in order and that they have what they need.
But you're satisfied with
Tastes like dirt.
Lazy River, Rob?
Are you kidding me? I'm
Mildew.
impressed. You guys, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I'm stoned.
You know, I wish we had a
fine.
lazy
As long as it's
store.
not any girly
That was
little
super
girly
dope.
weed.
So you have, where are all your stores at?
Dracut.
Dracut and then Tewksbury.
Dracut and Tewksbury, and the grow facilities in Dracut.
Yeah, that's where. It's kind of like the flagship location there. That's the
Man, that's off
vertical.
10,000 feet,
You
square
gotta come
feet.
out.
That's pretty big.
You
You
gotta
should come
out.
take a visit.
4 people,
Yeah,
5
put your
people,
Oompa
dude.
Loompa suit
Yeah,
on.
dude.
These
It's crazy.
facilities got like 100 people running around, can't
know.
even figure it the fuck out.
That's
No,
the
you got the
idea.
cocoa, you got all the
people,
water and systems. Because I've seen some of these grow places. It's very cool. And people, you know, you walk in, you put on the suit, you change the shoes.
Yeah.
Because it's all about like bugs are a problem, mold's
Yeah.
a problem.
We don't spray.
All
The
kinds
only
of
thing we
problems.
spray is water on our clones. So everything else is the.
Because I'm sure you guys have had problems like everybody else has, you know.
No foliar sprays in this
nothing.
place? Not even
no,
in veg?
no preventatives,
nothing?
nothing. I just the biologicals only.
I like it. So you're killing
Predators.
have any problems with
I have tons of
biologicals?
bugs upstairs, but they're the good kind. Yeah.
No, bugs are great.
The good ones are absolutely. So we've got them established for sure.
He's bugging out there.
We're bugging
No,
out.
I first seen a guy years ago. He
Worms.
had a bunch of like went in there and had hundreds of ladybugs all over the
yeah.
plants.
Yeah.
He says they'll eat the aphids.
Yeah, they eat everything.
The problem with the ladybugs with the HPS,
Can't get rid of them.
They
Yeah,
fly
they
into the
fly up,
lights
they
and then
fly
they
light.
die.
And they fry it, pop like
pop.
popcorn.
They
Yeah,
don't last.
exactly.
Yeah,
They're
they don't last.
popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question though. For the dog people that are following the show, you guys got products for dogs.
Yeah, we got
How
some
did
of
that
that,
come
too.
about?
Great idea.
It's the whole CBD thing. We started with dog treats.
Yeah.
And that was the first product.
Yeah.
And then you guys expanded on that. He's been a big part of that. So now we have peanut butter, tinctures.
Shampoo.
Do you make
Shampoo.
CBD oil for people too?
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, so we've done a bunch of different like wellness product lines, and having animals my entire life, and then like the first getting into cannabis in 2016 in Massachusetts, I was like running one of the first medical dispensaries, and like I kind of walked in there and I was like, this is a lot of responsibility, like right away, because as Kevin was saying when he started with compassionate and everything, you're dealing with people every day that are coming in with cancer. They're going through, all different
Sick.
remediation, MLS, like high levels of diabetes. And so I had to like jump in and started learning a tremendous amount about cannabinoids as fast as I possibly could, because I had people coming in to me and they're like, oh, my doctor recommended I go get a medical card. And they come in and be like, I have this ailment. What do you have for me? And like, that's how a lot of the conversation started. And I'm like, I can't just be like, I like to smoke this. And, so it's like,
So you actually figured out what these compounds do for people.
Started learning a lot about the medical aspects.
Pretty
of
good.
The endocannabinoid system, and the fact that it's in all mammals as well too, and how the receptors work. And so we started doing like a lot of different research in it for humans based for the most part. And then slowly over the course of time, like realizing that, for those of us that have, animals and they're almost like our family, it's the same thing that you would want
You
to
got
do.
arthritis too.
Yeah, it's the arthritis. One of the greatest things that we've seen too is that one of the growers that works under Kevin, his dog has
Seizures.
has like huge seizures all the time, like debilitating seizures. And there's a picture of him, a video of him actually having a seizure, and then during the seizure getting like these CBD drops, and within like 2 minutes.
Straightens them out.
Yep. And so then the whole point of it is that like if you start administrating it like on a daily basis, right, you're just giving like a
Works on a dog. It probably work on a person.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's lots of studies of using CBD and cannabinoids for seizures and epilepsy.
So you
and
dose the dog continuously, and then he'll have a buildup. And
No,
then
once
he
the
probably
dog's
won't
getting a
have the
seizure.
either or. So, but the
You know
whole
what I'm saying?
thing
Like
is,
a not like you know what I'm saying? Like a dog, like a
Hit him with
Narcan for a dog.
Narcan.
yeah, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's Narcan. That would be.
Well, I'm just saying
I
it's
wish,
like-
I wish we could make that at one point.
That's just a funny analogy.
No,
of it.
of course. But what I'm saying is yeah, it's like we see. What's great about it is that you see two different things, right?
That's
You
a great idea.
You see immediate relief, and every animal is different, right? Like my endocannabinoid system is different than yours. My edible tolerance is going to be different than yours of how I process 11-hydroxytetracannabinol. Same thing with like smoking, right? Everyone has a different endocannabinoid system. Everyone's endocannabinoid system works differently and has this different tolerances, but animals do too. So some dogs will in animals we make stuff for cats too, right? It's like some of them will react differently with pretty much anything you give them. So with this particular dog, like the immediate relief was seen.
Perfect.
And then after the immediate relief, it was okay. Let's give the dog a couple of drops every day, right, in the food, or like one cookie a day.
In his water.
And you see all of a sudden like the amount of seizures, and the repetition of them decrease, right? Because you're giving that dog something that it needs, right, in order for their body to be able to process that cannabinoid, and that cannabinoid is doing something like very good for them.
Of like the strains that you got on the shelves for the flower, how long does a strain usually last on the shelf before you got to move it? Because it's a fast paced world with the customers
long
changing
as-
flavors. Like, is it like about 3 months, or is it like I know you
6
probably
months.
got some staples that stay up
What
on
do
the
you mean,
menu.
like as far as strain wise?
Yeah,
Like,
how
I
often
have-
do you got to rotate
I
new
still
stuff
have
in?
2 from the original hunt. Pie cake and blue slushy have been there since the beginning. So as long as people are buying it, I'll keep growing it. You know what I mean? But what I've been doing lately is trying to like cross those into other things or or improve upon it. You know what I mean? Maybe just trying to find a way that it's that, but it's a little bit better. It's like the 2.0 version. Like the Cherry Waves is the 2.0 Pink Skittles. You know what I mean? So you can still keep it around, but like I said, you just got to keep going. You know what I mean? I don't like to sit still. I could never sit with the same 6, 8 strains on a menu. I'd probably lose my mind, pull my hair out.
So you got 2 staples, and then the other ones you move in like
Yep.
monthly or
And
something
I'll still
like that.
keep
You
them
change
in,
them.
you know, I don't have a tissue culture, but I have kind of a clone culture. We'll keep them all on back. And then we'll kind of do like a retro run. Like, you know, he's watching what we have in bulk for spreadsheets. Is like, finally, this one that, you know, that didn't sell that well is getting low. Now I can kind of like prep up a bench of it or something to try to keep it around. But yeah, growing the same stuff, it would drive me crazy.
So the consumers want something different.
That's what I feel. I mean, I personally, I like to see something new, you know, like a new drop. We try to do at least 6 new drops a year or so.
You guys thought this out very well.
It was, well, yeah, it was definitely planned out very well, for sure.
I think there was a lot
Like,
of drive
super
involved here.
synchronized, man.
A lot of that comes from the other 2 partners too. They're very business minded and you know, have started businesses before. That's a big part of it, honestly. Huge part of it.
Right. Starting from the ground up's a whole different story.
That's
than,
why it's important to. They say don't go into business with your friends. You just got to go into business with the right friends, and those 2 are for sure best friends. And there's no weird beefs. There's nothing. It's just
there was tensions
never,
with
dude,
getting the
never.
license.
Honestly, I mean, I've had plenty of handshake partnerships in the past, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a different story over here for sure.
You guys all were involved obviously in the construction and the pre-processing,
They fucking did most
but
of
you
the
really
construction
you couldn't
themselves.
really
Kidding me?
shine until this place got
I
opened.
was waiting.
You know
I
they
was
did.
chomping at the
Hell
bit.
yeah.
But you know, as far as layout and what I wanted to use, I said what I wanted, and then you know, the architect and the engineers would, you know, put it all together. So it's like a blueprint. So I got to build my Fenway, and now I get to play on it. Basically, is the best way to
That's sick.
describe it.
Bro,
dude.
that's
I think you got a feeling
That's
you
the
guys are going to
dream.
be just
It's a dream.
fine.
It only took 29 years, but I got here.
Hey, man,
good for
sometimes
you,
it
though,
takes
man.
a while.
Congratulations, you guys deserve it, dude.
I appreciate that,
appreciate
dude.
that.
I really do.
Yeah, hell yeah, you guys are
Fire-ass
doing.
product.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's
6
huge.
to 6.
That means a lot, and it's going to mean a lot for everybody back.
Listen, we got like 6
Back and
listeners,
drink it.
so, you know, you can show this to your family. Here you go. Here's that word on this podcast. Yeah.
Who's in charge of
6 important ones.
Absolutely.
who's in charge of curating the product at Lazy River? Who brings in the other brands? Who tests them? You guys obviously smoking.
Yep. Caesar.
Yep.
Caesar would be the procurement, so he brings in all the.
Caesar's the guy
outside
on
product.
the ground.
And then
Yeah.
Gabe is our wholesale, so he sells all the. So if you want to contact them, I should know the email,
I can give you both emails.
or you could just even go to lazyriver.com.
Yeah,
Lazyriver
contact
Products.com.
Gabe.
Evan Caesar, and what's
The
great
wholesale.
about both of them is, you know, in general, like everyone that plays a role is really passionate about, you know, pretty much, you know, every aspect of cannabis. And what's interesting is that, you know, each one of them, you know, that works on the team for either bringing things in or wholesale sales is really trying to figure out, you know, what we can do to enhance our menu and what we can do to make sure that the products are going to be respected by everyone on the staff.
We can't, elaborate what other
Inspector
people are
Clouseau.
doing, but they know what they're doing, how they
No,
pick
you guys
their
are doing it
samples,
right.
how they group it. They do it randomly. It shows through on the test that it's not like all the stuff on the shelves like 15 or 30%, 40% below what it's listed at. Like it's hit or miss, like a random thing should be.
It's a different situation there too, because you have, you know, a grower who's involved who's also has a part of ownership, and then those other 2 owners share that same vision. You know what I mean? Where before it didn't matter. Like you're gonna do you're gonna grow what they tell you to grow, whether it's good, bad, but it tests this, then you're gonna grow this. Like there's a little bit of different decision making, you know, throughout the whole company that I think separates us a little bit.
So you guys love what you do, huh?
I fucking love. I'm not gonna do anything else. That's for sure.
What else can you do? I mean,
It's
29
30
years been
I
growing
don't
weed.
even know how do you go to
You
something?
can't
like that.
change
I wouldn't.
you can't change the
I
stripes,
wouldn't.
man.
I wouldn't
walked
be
out
able
last-
to.
Like
I'd
that
be
a couple
lost.
weeks ago.
You know, someday you'll be that 75-year-old guy out in the grow room, and you'll be
Probably.
like,
If you're near Dracut and you haven't stopped in to check out what these guys do,
Definitely.
check them out. And where's
Lazy
the other
River.
store?
Tewksbury.
Tewksbury, Dracut. Stop in, see what these guys got cooking.
if you don't stop there, you're puny. Hear me now, believe me later. No, good job. I thank you guys for coming on the show. I think we like covered everything, you know. And
Yeah, you guys, did we leave anything out that you guys wanted to get in? Is
Fucking
there any
A, you
shout
guys
outs on the
rock.
team? Anybody else?
Buck, this has been a good experience for us. Like I said, I've been a
I
fan.
actually smoked a whole pre-roll
and
today.
I never wanted to do the podcast thing because I was always better at hiding. You know what I mean?
Right. You ran up on me down there at the Harvest Cup.
I did. I saw the hat. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to this guy and tell him how much I like his show. And then
that
we
was
kind of
cool.
spun off of that. And I was like, come for a tour.
Now you're going to be a star. Superstar.
No, we really love that you guys took the time to come out and tour with us to get to know us a
Awesome.
little bit too.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was a huge thing. It's really the ability to have people in and be able to show people what you're excited to do every day, and then to get a chance to hang out with you guys and for you guys to have us on and down here. The whole team back, in Dracut and Tewksbury is like so stoked that this is something that we're going to be involved in.
I want to know when the
that's
next
cool.
party is
They all
over
watch.
there.
Rob wants to go to the party.
I can see it all
The
now.
Christmas parties are fun, I'll tell you.
Oh, I'm sure.
If you guys weren't doing it right, you guys wouldn't have got the invite. And Rob, you probably would have sick Kim
I
Roy
know
on
he's a
you
tough
for
pick. I was
testing.
worried about him. I'm like, man, I gotta see this. When
Well,
he
I'm
smokes
like I
it.
said, when you have set all your product tests out, you're doing something right, and you do guys, like I said, you do have advantage because you have the dispensary and the growery, so you can put more into it. There's a lot of guys out there right now that go into this business and their heads underwater, and I
And
feel
you were
bad for
smoking
them.
their pre-rolls.
Yo, they're gone. I feel bad for those guys.
cheese
It's
over
good
there.
that you guys got in the groove that you're in and just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll
Appreciate
be fine.
that, dude.
Thank you.
We really
Phenomenal
appreciate
work.
that.
Well,
Smoke.
thank you guys for coming on.
Thank
This
you
has
for
been
having
great.
us.
Thank you very much for having us.
Great job. Yada yada yada. Beep beep beep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
All right,
Fuck
that's
it.
Double salute.
Wake up in the morning, got a bag on my schedule. Niggas talking, bitches talking, they is not on my level. Check the time, wrist, rolling, rose gold on the bezel. Grab my keys and get my cell and hit the door with a shovel. It's time to get it out the mud, 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 out the mud. It's time to get it.